Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Daniel, and I'm a bootstrapped solopreneur. I'm a SaaS founder, and I think a lot more interestingly, I'm a commercial open source developer and entrepreneur. So, welcome to the YouTube channel. I've never done a YouTube channel before, so this is probably a little informal, maybe a little impromptu, but we're just going to run with it and see what happens. I named the channel Solopreneur Dev because that's truly what I am. A little background about me: I'm a full stack developer. Kind of had an interesting career starting off in data analytics. I actually have a math degree, but I fell in love with programming and data analytics, and uh, basically through my career at my day jobs for like the last 6 years or so, I fell in love with web development, C Sharp, and now I'm just a full stack developer at my day job. However, much more interesting, I think, is to talk about my startups. So I'm also a startup entrepreneur. And in particular, I'm bootstrapped and I'm a solopreneur. So, just a quick definition on those two terms. If you're a bootstrapped startup founder, that means that you haven't taken any venture capital from a venture capitalist, and you also may or may not have raised any money from angel investors or friends and family. I haven't done that with anyone, so I haven't raised money from VCs or angels or friends or family. Basically, it's just me, myself, and I as far as the money situation goes. My personal bank account is what funds my products, and then after I get them kickstarted, my customers are what funds my products. So I'm bootstrapped. It's nice because I have full independence to do what I want, but bootstrapping has a lot of ups and it has a lot of downs. One of the downs of bootstrapping is the isolation that you have to deal with. It's just super difficult being by yourself all the time when you're bootstrapping. It's a very, very lonely road to walk. And very few people in my life understand the difficulties that I face on a weekly basis. That's nothing against them, but they just don't understand what all is involved in doing a software startup, especially if you're doing one bootstrapped. But the other side of the story is I'm also a solopreneur. And so that means I don't have any co founders, I have no team, no employees. And sometimes when someone says they're a solopreneur, they still technically use like contractors in the background. And nothing against solopreneurs that do that. But when I say I'm a solopreneur, I mean, I really truly am a solopreneur. So I have no team, I have no co founders, and I don't have any contractors. So the only person that runs my businesses are me. I'm the only person that does the marketing, all of the coding, all of the engineering and customer development. I truly, really do run my software startups solo. So that's just a little bit about me, and what you see on the screen is sort of a little personal portfolio site that I've made for myself. I haven't really been successful at getting any sort of following on Twitter or elsewhere. And so I thought, as like a good outlet, honestly for therapeutic reasons, but also maybe just to find like-minded individuals such as myself, I decided it would be fun to start this portfolio slash blog website and then to start this YouTube channel too. So I mentioned I'm bootstrapped, I mentioned I'm solo. You can probably see those two boxes at the bottom of my portfolio site. But then there's a third one that I would really love to talk a lot about on this YouTube channel, and that's open source. I am a huge fan of open source software. I think that it's changed the world for the better. It's really amazing what open source software has done for the world around us. And I know that a lot of people have talked about the sustainability problem of open source for a long time because it's pretty tough to see somebody put in hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of work endlessly and not really get compensated for it, but like half the internet could end up depending on this individual's like random JavaScript library or whatever it is. And open source is amazing, but I totally feel for developers that have struggled with the sustainability and like the burnout problem of open source. And like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I love the idea that maybe one of these days I can pay my bills with my startups. I wish that I could say I'm one of like these cool Twitter indie hacker type personalities who's made it, but the fact is I haven't made it. I'm literally just right in the thick of the journey, just trying to figure things out as I go. Literally every week is a challenge. Every day is a challenge. And I think that's really true of open source too. So I've come under the belief in the last probably year to year and a half that I really like commercial open source. And like in particular, I think a really cool take on commercial open source is bootstrapped solopreneurs like myself. I like that when you're a bootstrapped solopreneur, even though it's a really hard road, you have to deal with a tremendous amount of isolation. Very few people understand the struggles that you go through, which again is part of why I wanted to start this YouTube channel. But one of the things that I like is that you don't necessarily have to use a lot of the VC tactics that the open source community has come to dislike quite strongly, I've noticed. You can do something like an open core business, and if you do it right, and if you price it right, and if you maintain a good standing with your community and your adopters, they very well may be interested in giving you their credit cards and helping you sustain the project. And I love the idea that with commercial open source, if you're a bootstrap solopreneur like I am, if you can get people to pay for your commercial open source product, not only can you get your bills paid by this product, which that in and of itself is really amazing, but I also love the idea that you can go full time on your COSS product and you can spend all of your efforts and all of your energies building your commercial open source product. I love that idea. I think it's super cool. And that's something that I'm pursuing very, very heavily. I am building a .NET job orchestrator right now called Didact, and I'll actually be making a lot of videos on that soon. And Didact is my experiment, if you will, into commercial open source software. So I'll be talking a lot about that on this channel. If open source is interesting to you, if commercial open source is interesting to you and sustainable open source and just figuring out like, can you make money with open source? I'm not claiming to be a pro at it. I'm just a random guy that's trying to make it work. And I just want to share my journey with whoever might be interested. You may see this in the middle of my journey, or who knows, you could see this years from now. But either way, that's just kind of a little bit about who I am, what my mission is, and hopefully like maybe that gives you some direction of where I want to take this channel and what I want to do with my products. I'm really excited to see what happens. So this is a little bit informal. I'm sure my videos will get more structured or what have you over time, but I just want to say welcome to the channel. Thanks for checking out what I have to say. Subscribe and join me on my journey, and let's see what happens. Thanks.